My name is Matt Curcio. I'm a member here at One Life Fellowship, and this is my story. In 2010 was one of the worst years of my life. In April 6th, my father passed away unexpectedly. He left behind a business that him and I did together. He left behind a wife that was 58 years old, and he left us behind as well. With that challenge, we had all sorts of new things in life that we had to do. One to run the business, one to take care of my mom, and again with the young family. I never came to church regularly to One Life. I had a lot of friends there. We played basketball there. But the week he passed was the first week that we started attending on a regular basis. So, but it wasn't every week, but I did hear the word. It took 2 years later for me to accept Jesus Christ, but that was the hardest 2 years of my life as well. With that brought many challenges. With the business, a two-man job turned to one. I could just see that our bank accounts were depleting because I had no idea what I was doing on the business end of it. I had a 58-year-old mother who never even pumped gas, who never paid a bill on her own. My dad did everything for her. And then I had a wife at home who needed my attention and who needed my love, and we were about to start a family. And I can just remember just sitting there on the couch, stressed out, over anxious of how am I going to do all these things? How am I going to be the son that my mother needs? How am I going to be the husband or the father that my wife and kids need? How am I going to be the businessman that my dad was? How am I going to fill those shoes when I have no idea what I'm doing? In 2012, in August, I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal Savior, and everything changed in my life. But I still was stressed out about what's going on with our family dynamic and all the burden that was left on me. One day I heard a message at One Life, and it seemed like that message was just for me. And I couldn't do it on my own. I had to surrender my life to Him. So I just started to be obedient to what the Lord said. And the first thing was giving. That was a very foreign aspect to me. And being like a business owner, small business owner, I was very frugal with my money. Every dime was accounted for, and I just didn't know what to do with that either. So I knew what I was making, but I knew that I wasn't going to give 10% of that either because it just didn't seem right. I worked so hard, and I'm going to give 10% away to a church that I just joined. Didn't sound right, but I did give. Not many months later, I just heard the voice of the Lord say, man, you need to give correctly. This check is not right. And again, I was a frugal business owner, barely making it to pay all the bills and to take care of all the stuff that I had to. But I remember writing that first check, and it was painful. It was painful to give what I was supposed to do. But I dropped that check in at the end of a month, and that next month was like a whole new life for me. No, I didn't get rich quick or, all these things happened for me. But the stress, the anxiety, the burden of it was all off my shoulders. I wasn't worried anymore of if my mom was gonna eat or have a place to live. I wasn't worried anymore about if the business was gonna make money. And it's all because of the Lord. The Lord told me that He was gonna provide. And He tested me. He tested me many months. Many months it took to the last day of the month for Him to provide, but He always did. And I got story after story after story, but my two favorite, our busiest season was in teen ministry. And not only did God provide us with some great time, because we were able to run this business and also be these volunteer youth pastors. That took up a lot of time. And some of our hardest season in the youth ministry is the summertime. So we had teen camp, and we had teen camp planning, and we had Mexico trip back to back. And again, the fear, the stress, and the anxiety, the burden came back on me. How am I going to provide in those months? And those were the two best months of our year financially, and the two months that we worked the least. And it's just how God provided. Looking back at it, I knew that it was an area that I needed to be tested in. Man, God wanted me to be obedient. He wanted me to give everything I had and let it go. That's what God does for us. He doesn't need my money. He doesn't need our money. He doesn't need our possessions. He owns it all. We're just the managers for Him in this life. But there was a spot in my life that I was troubled with, and I didn't even know it. I thought I was doing the right thing, taking care of my mom, taking care of my wife, taking care of the business. But he said, "Oh no, Matt, I know way greater than you, and you need to be tested in this area." I'm sure glad he did.